Hello, we are Group I, and today we are demonstrating some of the functionalities we worked on during Sprint 1. I myself am Rayon. I'm the secondary product owner as well as the Scrum Master. I'm working with Daniel, who is our product owner and backend developer, Din, who is a front-end developer, and Matthew, who helps with the backend and front-end development as well. I'll pass it on to Daniel to talk about some of the functionalities for logging in.
We'll begin our demo by displaying the create account functionality. Since the website is limited to just York U students, we'll see here that when we try to create an account with a different domain, it won't allow us. It'll throw an error. And when we try to create an account that already exists, it won't allow us to because we don't allow for duplicate registrations. Finally, we'll create an account that does not already exist and that uses a York U domain. And we'll see here that this works. Now we can log in using these credentials. I'll take a moment to show the MongoDB database so you can see what this looks like on the back end. Here, I'll quickly refresh this, and you'll see that the account that we just created now, KL4, is here. And you'll see that the account that we tried to create initially was a duplicate account, so it did not allow us to. I'll pass things on to Matthew, where he'll be displaying the add listing functionality.
Hi, so we'll be taking a look at the seller's perspective of adding an item to be listed. So we can add up here the title of what item we would like to add. For example, if we want to add a new lamp, we can add that. We can choose a price for the lamp. We'll add that field. Now we'll select the category. This will be under electronics. And then we can choose an image file. So we'll select lamp. And now once we've added an item, the item is added. We can refresh the page and we should be able to see the new listing.
Now that the item is added, we can also see this change reflected in the MongoDB database. So here I've just refreshed it, and if we scroll all the way down, we see the listing that we just created appears here.
All right, now I'll pass it over to Din to show how to browse each category.
The left sidebar, you can see all the categories available. If you click on one of them, it will list the recent listings of all the items in that category. Here I have for the textbook, and here's for the furniture, clothing, and electronics. That's all the features that we have been worked on in Sprint 1. Now I'll pass it to Rayon to answer some questions in this handout.
All right, to talk about some of the questions that we had to answer. The first one was, what are the practices that we should continue during our next sprint? As a team, I think we use the Trello board and Discord communication very, very well. It helps us work asynchronously through our midterms season, which was very beneficial to complete all of our tasks. Tracking things through Trello also made for progress and accountability, which helped us overall. The next question was, what are some practices that you might want to use during the next sprint? I think as a team, as we discussed, we want to implement a more frequent communication method between stand-ups to ensure that we're all on the same page about less complex details and to avoid last-minute issues we faced, like merging, as well as reviewing each other's code. Third questions was, what are, if any, harmful practices you should stop using during the next sprint? Our answer to this is we should avoid starting documentation too late in the sprint, as it made it harder for us to align different things. We actually kind of followed a code and fix method rather than an agile method throughout the sprint because we started coding and then match our documentation to that. In the following sprints, we want to make sure we get all the documentation ahead so it's easier for us to code. And the last question was, what was your best and worst experience during Sprint 1? We think that our best experience was connecting everything and seeing it actually work successfully. Because we worked asynchronously on a lot of things, when it came time to connect, we were a bit nervous that they might not, but they did. Our worst experience was having to do this all while completing our midterms.